Hey, I'm Dean and this is Legacy Voyage. In Season 1, I'm documenting my journey to earning my first 100K net worth as a full-time college student. Join me as I share some of the lessons I learned along the way.
This one's kind of frustrating because I literally just recorded this episode like a couple of days ago and none of the audio went through. And I was so mad because I actually thought it went well, like the actual recording episode and storytelling. I think it went super well, but I just have to retell it because the audio didn't really capture it. But let's see. I guess it comes back to when I was on one of those trips in Tonga. And so we're on the islands and we're driving somewhere, probably to the beach or maybe after grabbing food or something. But we're in the car and we're driving somewhere. We're on the islands. And as we're going, we kind of pull off to the side of the road. And I was so confused. I was like, why are we pulling off the side of the road? What is it this time? And so we pull off to the side of the road. Everyone gets on and was like, okay, what's going on here? And for some reason, we had a flat tire. I was like, oh my goodness, that's so annoying. Which honestly, having a flat tire, it's not that out of the ordinary. Like, it happens even here in the States. But I think out of my entire lifetime of living over here, it's probably only happened 4 times, maybe even five, but really not that many times. But we're over here, we're in Tonga, we get a flat tire, and of course, we go through all the things of getting the spare tire out and then taking off the flat tire, putting the spare tire on, and then putting the flat tire away, stuff like that. And so we go through all the motions of replacing the tire. And finally, we get it done after however long it takes. I'm not sure if it was 30 minutes, not sure if it's an hour, but it was some amount of time. Eventually, we get it done. And a couple of days go by, and it's another car ride. We're just going from point A to point B. That's all we're trying to do. And this time was like the middle of the day. Forgot where we were heading, but it was another car ride. And it happens again. This time we didn't pull off the side of the road. We just got to where we're going, and then someone notices that the tire just looks flat. And so we're like, oh, yeah, you're right. It's flat. And in the span of about a week or two, we have two flat tires in Tonga. And then, of course, we go through all the motions. We get the spare tire out. We take the flat tire off, put the spare tire on, put the flat tire away, go through all those motions. Not sure if it took 30 minutes. Not sure if it took an hour, but we did it. I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. Two flat tires in the span of about a week or two. That's not normal. At least not in America. That's not normal. And so a couple days pass by, maybe even a week, and it happens again. And actually, this happens 4 times in about a month or two that I was there for that trip. For some reason, I don't know why, but there's definitely a reason behind this. The tires at Doha are just not good. Or maybe it's the road, but there's something that's causing flat tires all the time over there. Regardless, there was this one time, specific moment that I remember, and it's when we were dropping my cousin off to his school, and he has like a boarding school type of thing. And so we finally get to his school, we drop him off, he gets out the car, goes and moves him in with like he's carrying his big old chest of all the clothes and stuff that he needs as he stays there for the school year. And as we're driving off, boom, it hits us. Another flat tire. And this time, what made it different from all the other times we had it is that there wasn't anyone in the car that knew how to do this. Like I was there. I probably should have been like learning, kind of paying attention to all this stuff in case I ever needed to do it, but I did not know how to change a flat tire, like how to take it off and then put it on the spare tire. I didn't know how to do any of that. And so we're all like trying to call someone, call my uncle to come. Maybe he knows what to do, especially for this car, because it was this car specifically. For some reason, it was just harder than all the other ones, or we didn't know how to handle this specific car's model. And so eventually we grabbed this tool, and we have this tool. It looks like we're supposed to use it to take the screws off of something or get the spare tire out, but we're supposed to use it for something. And as we're trying to do this, the really cool part about our people, Polynesians, Tongans, is that as we were there trying to figure all this out, everyone's out the car. You have like 6, 7 people all huddled around. You got kids over there because there are kids in the car. This was all in the morning. We had these high school kids, and these high school kids would pass us by because they're all just trying to get to school. But one person, as he was walking by, he saw us struggling with this, trying to figure out, and he helped us. He offered his help and he said, okay, let me see what I could do. And so he grabs the tool and he gets on the ground and he looks at what he can do and he starts twisting and turning. And I'm like, wow, that's really, really cool that he does that. And then a couple minutes go by. He's trying to work on this thing, doesn't really know how to. Another student stops by. And so he does the same thing. He grabs the tool, he says, let me see what I can do. And then he gets on the ground and he twists and turns the thing, tries to screw it in or screw the thing out, whatever he needs to do. And a couple minutes go by, and he's still doing this, still on the ground, he's sweating, and another person comes by. And eventually we have like this whole group of 5 buff young Tongan dudes who are all like willing and devoted to help us out. And that was really cool to see. The only tough part about that is that we had the tool, we had no idea how to use it. And so you have these Tongan kids who are like just using the pure grip strength and their forearms to twist this screw out. And there's a whole bunch of them. We barely even get the first one out, and it's been like 20, 30 minutes already. So we have no idea how to use this thing. And then eventually we get some help. But even crazier that these kids, 4 or 5 of them came by and helped us out. Even craziest part, I think, is that they were literally full uniform. And full uniform for this, most Tongan schools actually, is like business casual, basically, where they have this button up shirt and it's like the equivalent of khakis, basically. And so they have this really nice attire, really nice clothes, and they're getting on the ground, getting themselves dirty just to help us out. That's another thing that I thought was like, wow, that's amazing about our culture, our people, that we're so willing to help each other out. Even if we're in the nicest, fanciest clothes, I will get my hands dirty just to help you out. That's something that I think is really powerful. But eventually, we're all huddled around there trying to figure out what to do. Everyone's sweating because keep in mind, it's super hot on the islands. The sun is shining in our faces. And eventually, my uncle comes. And it's kind of weird. Like, I'd be scratching my head thinking, what is this guy going to do? He's like a short guy, not exactly, let's say, the fittest man in the world. Big old dad bod. And he comes in, he's like, let me see that tool. And so all the 4 guys who were trying to use the tool, they're like, oh, let's see what this guy can do. My uncle, he grabs this tool and he takes it apart and then he puts it back together in a different way. And he takes this tool and he puts it into the screw and then he just starts turning it. He said, this is how it's supposed to be done. All of our minds, you could just see it, we're all blown. We were like shell shocked that he just did that. Because what took all of these guys, let's say 30 minutes to even an hour to get one screw off, he just did it in a couple minutes because he knew how to use this tool. And there was another example like this where even this past weekend, we were supposed to get rid of this counter. And the counter is like, it's actually massive. So it's, let's say, like 4 feet tall, but then it's something like feet long. Like it's a really long, huge counter, and probably more than 300 pounds easily. And our task is to somehow get this off the ground and outside of this room. And so we come into the room, and there's 4 of us there. And I remember as I walked into the room, I looked down and I saw that this huge counter was being lifted. I was like, how is this thing being lifted? Who is lifting this thing right now? And as I walk into the room, it was for some reason, it was like lifted behind the counter. So the person who was lifting it was like on their knees or something, bent over lifting this counter. And so I walk, and as I'm turning the corner, looking down by whoever is behind this counter, who can lift this thing that's easily more than 300 pounds, probably 400. Who is doing this? I look over, I see this old man. Like, this dude is probably, not probably, he is 80 something years old. And he's lifting this thing with a tool because he knew how to use this tool. And it was a crowbar. And with this crowbar, this guy, he was working magic. Like, he was putting it into the perfect position in the perfect way, and putting his weight on it, using force and just the perfect amount of leverage to lift this counter. And by the end of the night, we were like taking out concrete nails and removing it from the base and all these different things. But we were just using this one tool. And it's not enough to have the tool. Like, when we were stranded in Tonga with the car with the flat tire, it wasn't enough to have the tool. Or even if we had the crowbar there trying to get rid of this counter, it's not enough to have the tool, but it's knowing how to use the tool and actually putting it to work. And that's the big lesson. It's because we have all these tools that people throw at us, all the knowledge that we get to have, but what use is it just sitting there? What use is it not knowing how to actually put it into action and do things with it? And that's the big epiphany I had. And honestly, for my life update, after I told you all these things about the epiphanies and why it's super important to use tools that you have, this past week was actually really, really rough. And I really want to be honest about it because there were about 3, 4 days, even today, super, super close. But there were about 3 days this past weekend where I was just straight up binging. And this happens whenever I get stressed or overwhelmed or bored or all the different things. But it was like a combination of not enough sleep, not working out or getting any type of movement, activity in, and really just not taking care of myself in general. And so for some reason, I remember I was with my people. I was just hanging out, chilling. And for some reason, I just felt off. I was like, why do I feel off? Why do I not feel present in the moment right now? And the reason that was is because I wasn't taking care of myself. And I really self-evaluated that, and it was really powerful. I think on Sunday is really where I realized this because I went on a walk. And on that walk, I was doing this podcast and actually just self-reflecting on everything. And it taught me a lot because I realized it's so important for me to take care of myself, to be there for the ones I love. Just like how I said at the very beginning of this year, love myself so I can love my people, so I can love my work. That is my theme for the year is love. And I kind of miss that. I kind of miss how important it is to love myself and take care of my physical, mental well being before I can be there for the ones I love. And so that was a big lesson today. Not today, but really this past weekend. And so updates on my health. Although I went through that time of not really knowing what to do and really my diet flying out the window, it's of course a learning experience. And it's a great learning experience. It's something that I will take on with me, put under my belt, and just move forward. Because I can't go back and change the words that I already wrote, but I can the words that I will write tomorrow, the day after, the week after, a year from now, all those things. This is an infinite game. And so that's something that I'm coming into this next week with. And in terms of my mental health, of course, it took a hit because I wasn't taking care of myself physically. And so it is hugely interconnected there. And then spiritual health is always something that I want to improve on because I'm more of like a logical thinker, like give me the facts and I'll run with it, that type of way. It really takes a lot to say, I don't know, help me understand. That really takes a lot of effort on my part because that's not the way I'm wired. Like that's not the way my brain works. Maybe that's a limiting false belief that I have on myself, but that's kind of how I've been brought up in this world. In terms of relationships, like I mentioned, I think relationships definitely took a hit in that I wasn't present or I wasn't as present as I wanted to be because my health wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. And so I couldn't really be there for the ones that I love. Like I missed a call with my family, which honestly isn't like, oh no, Dean missed a call. But I really value those calls. I really value talking with the ones that I love because that's my love language is quality time, quality conversation. And when I miss those, it actually really affects me. But overall, definitely nothing to complain about. Only good things to report in terms of relationships because, I mean, I love my people. Like, seriously, my family, my friends, my girlfriend, I mean, they're amazing. So that's all great. And in terms of wealth, this is the big update. So many things in the works, but the biggest thing is that I really did take an L this morning. Like, and by L, it was definitely an L, but it was a huge lesson, a huge learning experience because I tried applying to this jumpstart program where they give you 10K to work on your startup over the summer. I came into this thinking, oh yeah, I got this in the bag. I don't really have to work hard on it. I came in it completely unprepared, didn't even rep it once. I threw the slideshow together in like an hour. I was like, okay, I got this. Pulled it to the meeting and I absolutely got shredded. I mean, it probably wasn't as bad as I'm explaining it right now, but I'll put it like this. If I do get accepted into this program, I will feel very of it because they hit me with questions like, how are you actually going to turn this into a business? How are you actually going to, what's the number that you're aiming to hit? What's the track that you're going to hit that number? And how much money will you make after you hit that number? Like I didn't provide any hard numbers and I was literally straight up in the meeting. I was like, I don't know. Honestly, I don't. And so I think it's just something that I take with into the next pitch that I give and just an experience because it was a huge learning experience. First of all, I know that I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to rep presentations from now on. The other thing is I'm going to put pitches together in a better way and really think strategically about niche news and what it can become and how we're actually going to monetize this thing and turn it into a business instead of just some passion project that or hobby or something. Because I actually do want to make this viable and something that is self-sustaining so I can serve more people is really the whole goal behind it. And a couple updates with Ninja News, put out our first version of the new newsletter thing, which is like, yeah, I think it's pretty sick, but like thinking strategically and high level about that. Met with someone to go over our website. I actually still need to email her, but I'll get that done. Well, honestly, so many different projects. And I think that was probably one of the reasons why it was like all this stress that I was feeling with all the different projects that I'm working on, because there are actually so many. But low key, I think even saying that out loud, it's kind of damaging when I list them out in numbered order and put a priority on them and say, okay, these are the projects I'm going to get done. These are the projects I won't get done. And I'll just do them later or won't do them at all. I think maybe that's the thing that'll really help me get on track in terms of prioritizing what I actually want to do and getting rid of the things that I don't want to do. That'll probably help a ton, actually. But yeah, just wanted to get this in because I was actually super sad when my Sunday podcast recording didn't go up. So I had to find some other time to get it done. So yeah, those are the updates around me. And of course, there's internship stuff with like Deloitte and Bain and consulting stuff. But honestly, I have no clue how that's going to pan out. We shall see, but I'll keep you updated. And honestly, I mean, you even seen it here. I actually do get super vulnerable about some of this stuff because I think it's important. Like my hope is that there's someone out there who maybe resonates with that I'm saying or my story. And 10 years down the line, I'm going to be looking back at this and be like, oh, dang, that's what I went through. And maybe 10 years from now, there's going to be another kid in my shoes, another 18, 19-year-old kid who's like trying to get through life. And hopefully this can help where it's like, I'm taking a whole bunch of L's, whole bunch of failures, but one of my core values is trying to fail forward and looking at it as an opportunity for growth, looking at stress, all the stress I'm going through. It's like, it's not the type of stress that keeps me up at night. It's the type of stress that I'm like, oh dang, I'm growing, I'm learning a bunch. And that's what I love. Because really all of this is to become my dream identity, become the type of person I want to become, who is Jesus. And that's a great reminder because I want to become the type of person who is hardworking and willing to put in the hours and great leader to his team and empathizes with anyone and is loving and caring and all those things. And this is just my pathway to getting there, really. So I hope it helps someone out there. If it doesn't, then who cares? Because honestly, I think it's really cool. Like this whole project is something I'm really passionate about. So I'll see you in the next one. I record these episodes completely free to share success with everyone. So the only thing I ask is that if you learned anything or found something interesting in this episode, just leave a review and share it with a friend. Only takes 5 seconds and it would mean the world. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next episode. Tatok, see you.